Hey everyone, welcome back to Control. Last time we finished our investigation of the ordinary AWE area and found that the slide projector had been taken to dimensional research, which means we're going to have to get through the Ashtray Maze. But before we do that, Emily Pope told us that Mr. Tomasi has been active down in the Sterling AWE, and since this is the last side quest, I think we probably ought to take care of it sooner rather than later. This is the final door off the turntable that we weren't able to get into before. The astral spike is off in the distance, but it's not going to get in front of us, so I don't expect there to be any flashing light issues here. The door is indeed open, so I'm going to put on my best guns and see what we can do about this guy. It was a big rock.
There you are.
I'll point out that even though I completely missed that shot, it took out his entire shield and did a little bit of damage to his health bar. Charge is amazing. But there are going to be some muzzle flashes off some of the surrounding materials here, and those are probably going to cause some flashing problems. Meanwhile, I should probably get to a safe distance, but I really want to go toe-to-toe and do as much damage as I can before those hiss charged catch up. Probably should have watched my back a little more, but I'm away from the ambient stuff now. No more flashes. I'll just try to take these guys out as best I can. Tomasi's shield recharges, but his health doesn't. So I think as long as I can stay out of the explosion radius and take care of all the guys that he summoned, we should be able to get the job finished. There's a shotgun down there somewhere. But I don't think I can afford to worry about it too much, because I haven't got the health for it. This is the all or nothing point.
There. I guess the Bureau should start looking for a new head of communications.
I really didn't expect to do that in one try. Took me ages my first time. Now I just gotta clean up the rest of these guys. I suppose I didn't give the rabble enough credit. But hey, we're back at the control point, so... Oh yeah, I don't have the reward for the quest yet. And we are going to be getting close to the astral spike this time, so flashing light warning again. Because this time the turntable's got some hiss in it. Not that I need to worry about them too much. I could just run past and fly over to the door. But they could drop some rewards. And for some reason I was thinking that maybe the reason I couldn't get the last upgrade to Shatter yet was because I was missing some materials that I might be able to pick up here. But they don't drop any, so we're safely in the AWE area now, no more flashing. And yeah, I'm trying to stand on top of the big rock. Forget what the name for a 12-sided figure is. I think dodecahedron is 20. Anyway, let's read about what happened here. I don't know, I keep getting distracted by reading about that billboard and thinking, wouldn't you like to be a pepper too? I don't imagine there's much in the dark corners of this room. We do have a lot of rock around here, and I don't think it's even black rock, that's just rock. I got a bit of a beat. Something geometric, I guess. Could be electromagnetic fields for all I know. Anyway, while this platform kinda makes a convenient place to stand while you're fighting Tomasi, there are also some things up here. One chest to open. And if you climb on top of the cabinets, you can actually get up into the rafters of this room. Or at least this catwalk here. Probably the mistake I used to make was coming into this area and coming straight up here. Thinking maybe I could keep the hiss charged away from me. They can still get up here. There's a staircase. Also, I didn't have multi-launch. That was probably a big factor. Don't believe there's anything else up here, so we'll just head down into the control room. One more flight down. In a different set of calculations, I'm pretty sure that is physics, rather than straight-up calculus. And a couple of documents and things to pick up. Forgot which button was which for a second there. It's been a while. It's kind of funny, they're describing a spherical object in the document, but that's not a sphere. Either it changed or that rock was inside it.
You're listening to America Overnight, now in our 29th year, lifting the veil between fiction and reality. Thank you for staying up with us. I've been getting a lot of calls about this meteor in Sterling, Colorado. There were reports of a large spherical container that crash-landed in a field outside town. Some government people reportedly took it away. Now, we happen to broadcast from Colorado, and Sterling isn't far. I drove down myself to check it out with members of the America Overnight team. I don't need to tell you, it wasn't long before we found pieces of metal debris scattered in a field. Listeners, this is yet another instance of an unidentified flying object, or UFO, entering our airspace and crashing. That the government took away the evidence under cover of darkness only compounds the fact that these are more than likely visitors from beyond our planet, or dare I say, solar system. Head on over to our website to see pictures of the spacecraft pieces we uncovered. And while you're doing that, our sponsors would like your ear. America Overnight will be right back.
Personally, I'm a little confused about the point of this episode of America Overnight. There are two different ways that I can take it. Since it's run by the Bureau, it could be that they're trying to create their own conspiracy theory that sounds plausible just to deflect attention away from whatever actually happened in Sterling. The other idea might be that, since it's the radio equivalent of a tabloid, because they're taking an interest in it, that might lead people to think there's nothing actually there. But those are just theories. Probably shouldn't think too hard about it. Anyway, pretty standard fight with a hiss cluster I can take over and basically have unlimited health for a while. I thought there was another hiss elevated out there, but I guess not. Alright. One last try. I can actually stand on top of this thing. The document also said something about a portion of it being open or broken, but There is nothing about that rock that looks broken to me at all. Maybe it's on the bottom? Or again, maybe it was the spherical outside breaking open. But back through the astral spike room one more time. And I think we're through it. That should be the last of it for this episode. So let's go ahead and see what we can do with our reward that I don't have yet. Change of plan. We're going to head back and talk to Emily so I can actually get the reward for the quest.
Need something? I took care of the Tomasi problem. Sorry, I forget he was a coworker.
Don't apologize. That wasn't the real Tomasi. He died when the hiss got him.
You're right. I just didn't want to be insensitive.
Sentimentality is a weakness in situations like these, Jesse. That's Bureau 101.
I don't think Emily's in danger of being called sentimental.
There we go.
I should get going.
Don't let me hold you up.
So that's the 5th untapped potential, the material that we need to get the last of our weapons up to level 3, and a few more ability points. Not that I ever use Shatter, but no point not getting it. There are a lot of possibilities for what I could do, but I can't bump up my health or energy yet. So I'll go ahead and power up what's probably my best attack at the moment. And now, the Ashtray Maze. Since we come out at the top of Central Research, we just kind of need to drop through any one of these windows. And yeah, since we now need to go here, of course it's guarded. Here we go. It's say hello to my little friend time. It's hard to tell how effective he really is. I'll let him guard my back. I'll take care of the guys in front. And yep, there are a lot of them. The Hiss really don't want us getting through this maze. But that's no problem. Well, at least the janitor's been through.
Bro, contact the janitor if you need to get through.
Broken? How many dead ends can this place have? We need to find Ahti.
Yeah, so in case you were wondering, nothing about the maze has changed at all. It's just got some wet floor signs out front. But there is a new control point here. No idea how it got there, but it's convenient since we need to get back and see Ahti. Well, gratified to see that for once there's no ambush waiting for us in ventilation.
There's no Ahti. Where is he?
Yeah, so if you noticed this picture before, it was just a cabin, but now there's somebody standing there. Yes, it's Ahti.
Now this boy left, said the son of Annikki Tähti. My assistant will keep work in the glove and the house standing. Lomille lomps, holiday humps.
How can anyone even get out of here while the building's sealed? Let alone go on a holiday. Guess I'm about to find out.
Yep, there's a whole door behind that picture. And Ahti's got his own hallucinogen holiday, I guess. But it leads into more pipeworks. And of course, more enemies that are no problem, especially for other enemies. Yep, so that's one of those one-way doors, and a chest behind it. There are a few places in the building we haven't been to, but this is one of them. If you drop down there, it's kind of a one-way trip, so I certainly want to come over this way and get that chest first. Maybe you can get here later, but I don't want to risk it. May as well pick up the materials. But I am kind of curious because this is one of the fire break areas and there are bridges off in both directions. I don't imagine I can get to this one. Okay, looks like I can get to it. I honestly expected to hit an invisible wall there. But I certainly can't get up to the next one in line. And neither of these partitions are going to open. I don't know whether they even are supposed to lead anywhere. I mean, it's not like this is one of the normal fire breaks for the building. This is Ahti's private space or something. And there's the hallucination. And it looks like there's a control point just on the other side. But there's stuff in the security center to pick up too. Sounds a little like Doom. Like the old PC Doom. I wonder if that's the same person that was talking to the furnace in that audio recording. Anyway, never a bad time to save the game and get a new navigation point. And with 2 ability points, there's stuff I could get, but I'm not going to bother. I want to save up for some better stuff later. Kind of confused why I've only got 4 available countermeasures though. Like there was the one for the jukebox mission and then that slot just completely disappeared. Anyway, this room is populated now. With mold creatures. Really, really strong ones. This is a fight you have to take seriously, because they'll kill you in a couple of hits. It may not look like it, but Yeah, there we go. That's most of my health gone. This is another area that took me way too many tries my first time through the game. And I think I'm in okay shape, but yeah, you can't use these columns for partial cover. Their spit is way too accurate. Let's give it another try. And this time I'll go for proper stopping power, I think. I don't mean shatter. I'm just sticking that in there to fill up the slot, but pierce is the way to go. Yeah, this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. If you can at least keep them at a distance long enough to aim at their heads, you can take them down in one hit. And throwing stuff at them is pretty effective too. See if maybe I can get a good angle with better cover this time. Or at least win the war of attrition. How'd I miss that guy? This maybe was all the way at the other end of the hallway right from the beginning. This is why the shield is so valuable. Because it'll carry you until you get to the health pickups, and then you actually have the means to fight back a little bit. A very little bit. It may not stand up to much abuse when they're hitting it that hard, but I've been pumping a lot of ability points into this shield. It'll stand the test of time. And apparently the test of remote-fired loogies. And I'm getting some corrupted samples, which is always good. I don't want to have to fight more of these mold guys, and I absolutely have to. So, yeah, we've been through this entire area before. We just came in through the opposite door, which only opened from the far side. And we are just kind of above the coolant pump area now. And I think that's all the power-ups that are here. There is one new feature to the room, though. Something that wasn't here before. And it's not just the hallucination of the sun. There's a motel cord now.
Illalla tuuli heikkenee. Kutuista hyvä näkymys. Suomenlahden länsiosa, Pohjois-Itämeri, etelän ja lounaan välistä tuulta.
Posters for Finland.
Ajoittain noin 14 metriä sekunnissa. Myöhemmin iltapäivällä ja illalla suunnaltaan vaihtelee.
Alright, makes sense. And the voice you can hear from the radio, I believe, is just somebody reading a maritime weather report in Finnish.
Yöllä tuuli väliaikaisesti tyyntyy. Hyvä näkymys.
And the clog is here. And I have no weapon to fight it with.
3–6 metriä sekunnissa. Hyvä näkymys.
Alright, well this room's clear at least.
Rankki. Kyyntä. Kutua. Näkyvyys yli 20. Kalvoida gruntti.
Yeah, so we just need to tune all the radios so that the voice comes through clearly.
Helsinki Katajaluoto 18. Etelä-Fronte 4. Kutu. Yli 20. Lokassäär 17, Raakko 3, 20.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Ahti's voice. And it's had the expected effect on the clog. But that's not the black pyramid key that we're used to. It's like a block of wood hovering above the desk or something. Ah, well. Yeah, see, we can't get back through the black pyramid door this time. The door that this key works for is probably the last one you would expect, and yet the first one you should have expected. Because all the times we've been in here, I haven't really paid much attention to what's going on. Off in the corner behind the desk, there's a janitor's closet. There's never been anything to do with it before. But that is the way that Ahti wants us to go. And aside from a poster from Miami instead of Finland, it's just what you'd expect in a janitor's closet, plus a picture of me back in the oldest house. Looks like the quarry, in fact. And here we are in another section of the quarry we couldn't get to before. And a control point made of mops and washpans and brooms. Aha, so this is the incident that Arish was talking about earlier. The one where they found the hand chair. And now the full moon thing makes sense. It was a warehouse. But alright, once again we are behind one of those one-way doors we couldn't open previously. And in a familiar place where we now have to go through an unfamiliar door. Again, I'm just not going to look in the direction of the astral spikes or any hiss that might happen to be down there dealing with them. I think I can just ignore all of those and make my way around the outside of the room to the restricted area door. And again, it looks like just a big elevator shaft with no actual elevator in it. That's okay. Down is easy. I don't think there's anything else in this room other than the stuff that we actually need to go mess with, but never hurts to be thorough. I mean, they got those staircases next to the elevators for a reason. I guess ambiance is a reason. So there's a cable cart here. Leading off into an endless room full of pillars. And we're right on the edge of the map here. I guess we're going to need to call the cable car in order to get across. Let's see if I can sneak up on this hiss unawares. Not quite, but close enough. And yeah, this specifically references AI-63, which was the hand chair. Alright, now we just wait for the cable car to show up. It's going to take forever. And there are enemies. Alright, at the very least, I don't necessarily have to defeat everybody here, I just have to hold out until the car arrives. Throwing explosives into my own face is not the way to do that. Nor, I think, is accidentally switching to Pierce when I need to be able to shoot quickly. Throwing their own rockets back at them, though, is a strategy that never gets old. Should probably go grab some of that health. I think the issue is that I've forgotten, at this point, that I've completed the mission for defeating enemies with Pierce, and I'm attempting to do that. At some point, I'm surely going to have to wise up and realize that's not one of the active missions. I think that Hiss Warped may have caught the drum that I threw at him, threw it back at me, and then I caught it and threw it back again. And catching my own rebound works too, but didn't leave me enough energy to catch the missile. At least it's not a particularly long trip. I think I might even be able to make my way across the center there just by flying to each of those raised platforms. No point, though. It's a lot safer to just go around the edge. I almost wonder if I actually did manage to capture that hiss cluster. Would it follow me down to the fight below? Then again, I'm not quite curious enough to go actually find out. Yeah, there we go. I can only defeat snipers in the research sector with headshots with Pierce. I'm in none of those places doing none of those things. So let's give this whole siege thing another shot. Not a good sign when it takes me 2 tries to telekinesis a Hiss guard at close range. Actually not what I was attempting to do. I didn't even know there was a trophy for that. But yeah, you can target multiple enemies if you pick up multiple things, and hitting 3 of them at once. There's a trophy. multi-launch is also a big thing here, just so that I can start recovering energy while I'm throwing stuff. Okay, round 2. Kinda want to seize that guy while his health is low. Probably not my best strategy in this situation. But hey, the more guys on my side, the more targets they've got. I'm just not inviting you guys to join me on the cable car once it shows up. Matter of fact, it might already have shown up. I could just be wasting my time here. I kind of assume that once it does show up, the hiss will stop appearing. Just because it seems kind of silly for the game to keep throwing them at me when I can just leave. But no, cable car's right there. I just don't particularly want to get sniped while I'm riding it. That might have been the better option in retrospect. But that was a lot of fighting. These guys dropped enough health. I could probably fill my meter twice over. And now for one of the most annoying parts of the game. Although I love the physics of this thing, check this out. When you're running against it, you actually move slower in real space. And I don't think you move any faster toward the front. You're just really, really slow when you're running opposite it. You know, you just gotta wait until it gets there. We are almost done with chasing down Ahti, at least. You know, maybe I could levitate there from here, but something just seems really wrong to me about that. Like, having been in the cable car this long, I want to just ride it to the end. It seems important. And I really don't want to go through that fight again. At the very least, we get the Sankarin Tango as one of our multimedia collectibles. And I don't know why I'm looking around this platform. There's nothing to see. It's all dark. But yeah, here in the middle of this near endless room of pillars, there's a big floor.
There's something up ahead. Do you see it?
No, I can't see anything through Ahti's holiday. I mean, seriously, I can't. But I know there is a document somewhere here. I missed it my first time. I'll listen to you in a second. Gotta read about the plastic tree. And this is brilliant. This tells us where those formulas they keep referencing came from. Words that the tree can't repeat. Looks like people are camping down here or something. Yeah, I can't really tell where I'm going either. Let's go see what Ahti's up to on his holiday, shall we? Looks nice.
Viikingit saatana. Kestänyt ruottalaisen veljekset kunnon löylyjä. Samma på svenska! Hey, girl. For a Finn, holiday is holy.
Ahti?
Did you miss me? Did you have piss in your sock? Yes. No. Bark don't make a wound. You did good. Take my cassette player. You can borrow it. The song is a present from my friends to you. It will get you through the maze so you can do your job.
Did that really just happen? Of course it did. He gave me his cassette player. It'll get me through the maze, huh? The janitor always has the keys.
And I'm wasting no time in getting to the control point. Interesting etchings on this pillar, though. It's like a tree, but the roots are a door. The tree itself is tiny. I definitely want more of something. I think energy has been more useful than health lately. And we got a new hotline call from the board, so we'll check that out. And we'll find out more about that door in the DLC. For now, that's all there is to the video, so if you're not interested in my opinions of what we just went through, see you next time. Otherwise, I do have a bit of a rant about the sequence that we just went through, the whole follow Ahti's holiday picture thing, and I don't know, there's just something about it that really feels off to me. Kind of underwhelming compared to everything else in the game. And maybe part of it is that because I've played through the game enough, I know the oldest house pretty well, I don't need to look at the map to find out where I'm going. But the first time through the game, I was looking at the map all the time. And in particular, all the question mark areas. Now, as we've gone through the game, of course, we've gotten all of these key cards, increased our security level, been able to open doors with higher and higher numbers on them. And we've also gotten these movement abilities little by little. You know, telekinesis lets us break down barriers. Evasion let us get across certain wide gaps. Levitation gets us across almost anything. And every time we get a new power, of course, that opens new areas of the oldest house. New places where we can explore. New things that we can do and find, and of course, access to some more of those question mark areas. little by little, the unknown areas of the map have been dwindling ever since the start of the game. But then, here we are. We get to this point. We're told we need to get through the Ashtray Maze, which is one of the earliest question mark areas you can get to that holds out for the longest. I can't be the only person who kept coming back to it over and over again my first time through the game, thinking, ooh, I just got this new ability. Maybe that will help me get through the maze somehow. Trying to solve that riddle, trying to figure out, how do I get to the far side of it? And of course, never being able to get there. There's just no way to do it. But I would get to go to some more of those question marks. But there were always so many more of them left. So many new things to discover. And so many potential ways to unlock them. It kept me wondering not only what's in those areas, but also, how am I going to get to them? What new ability am I going to get that's going to get me into some of those areas? When will I be able to access that restricted area door in the quarry? And then along comes this quest. Ahti just says, come to my office. And then he leads us on a whirlwind tour of every question mark area left in the building. One after another. No new powers. Not really a whole lot to discover. Just, here you go. There's that question mark area. There's that question mark area. There's the restricted area. You're done. You've been everywhere. And at the end of the whole thing, you get to see the foundation, which honestly really isn't all that impressive as it stands. And we find out that the secret to getting through the Ashtray Maze is music. You just gotta have the right music on, and that gets you through the maze. It's not a power. It's not an ability. It's not a security level. It's just, we change the soundtrack, and you can get through the maze. I was so disappointed when I got to this point my first time through. And frankly, I still feel a little disappointed, even knowing that what's coming up is one of the greatest scenes in probably any video game. And really, what does all of this add to the story in the end? Have we learned anything useful from this side trip? I mean, Ahti is both really weird and really powerful. That is all stuff that we already knew. Getting to go through a different room in the Ocean View Motel, yeah, that's interesting. But it's one detail that can't really carry a 20-minute quest. Especially coming as late in the game as it does, and riding on the back of everything that's led up to it, all the cool stuff that we've been discovering. Yeah, the end of a game that's made of exploration is necessarily going to box you into a linear finale, but this isn't the finale. This is more of a denouement before the climax. And it just strikes me as weird. I don't know, maybe I'm the only person who feels that way. Maybe there are other people out there who agree. The only way I'm going to find out is by putting my opinion out there, letting people respond to it, and seeing what everybody else thinks. But yeah, it's kind of a disappointing way to end this video. But we are going to start the next one with the Ashtray Maze. And to be fair, it does make up for how disappointing everything leading up to it was. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you there.